we still have business.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Bison Shark Tank, Carter College of Business and Waldron Center business plan competition. Our event tonight is brought to you by the Waldron Center for Entrepreneurship and Family Business and sponsored by Brian and Diane Truesdell. A special thanks to Brian and Diane for their financial sponsorship of tonight's event. Would you please give them a hand and I want to say hello. The Truesdells are successful entrepreneurs from San Antonio, Texas, and have been involved in several small business ventures. Where are my College of Business students? Can you raise your hand? Where you're in college? Oh, 3? No, okay, we got a few. If in the College of Business, if you've ever been to lunch, even though you may have never met Brian and Diane, you could have gone to lunch with a faculty member who took you to lunch on funds that they provided. They've funded what we would call the Truesdell money for several years, and they know firsthand how critical the mentorship is between faculty and students, and they wanted to make sure that that legacy, the very same thing that they experienced, lives on from generation to generation. So it's been a true blessing for us. The Truesdells are also serving as judges for tonight's competition. Thank you. Thank you for the investment that you're making in the development of the next generation of Christian small business owners and Christian business leaders. So thank you again to Brian and Diane. Serving as the third judge tonight is Paula, what I would know as Jones, but Paula Jones Sharp. And Paula is the Director of Corporate Finance at Walmart in Bentonville, Arkansas. Paula graduated in 2013 and serves on the COBA Advisory Board. So a special thanks to Paula for all she does for Harding and the Carter College of Business. A special recognition, and I know Betsy loves to stand up. She loves center stage. But a special thanks to David and Betsy Waldron. You can stand up. That would be great so that they know. But through their gifts to the College of Business, we are blessed with the Waldron Center and events like tonight. David, a successful entrepreneur in Middle Tennessee, wanted to honor his father through the Waldron Center for Entrepreneurship and Family Business. David, thank you for your investment in COBA and in Harding University. David also serves on our Board of Trustees. And the very best decision that he's ever made in his career or life has been to marry Betsy. So would you please thank Betsy and David Waldron. I'm scanning the room and I'm looking for other trustees. Oh, there we go. Joe Horn, thank you for your service to Harding as well. And I want a special welcome to our students and our faculty that are supporting the event tonight. Tonight's host is J.C. Height. J.C., is your wife here tonight? She's not here, the better half. J.C. and Karen are founders and owners of Height Digital. The Heights are COBA's entrepreneurs in residence this semester or this year. They're available to you in the Waldron Center, the second floor of the Mabee building, are there to provide advice and counsel for those who want to own their own company or their own business. So, JC, more talented, better looking, younger, and more energetic, is going to take it from here. So, please welcome JC Height.
There's a golf tournament, I think it's tomorrow, and that's when you clap like this, all right? So clap like we're excited to be here. Is that cool? All right, there's one more. Okay, we're going to try to make this as interactive as possible. So throughout the night, to prepare for the next couple of hours, we're going to do some activities together between sessions. We need participation, okay? If you don't participate, it's going to be very awkward for me up here. Is that fair?
Yes.
be good. Is that fair? Yeah. All right, very cool. Guys, so this is really difficult. Anybody ever actually pitched to a shark in the past or to like big court? This stuff is really difficult, right? And so, guys, one thing I want to ask for you is these guys are up here. Give them your attention. If you need to go to the restroom or something, wait in between. When they're done, how it's going to work is they're going to give about a 6-minute pitch to our amazing judges. And then after that, the judges are going to be asking questions, getting feedback, getting ideas, all right? And then after that, what do you think you guys are going to do? All right, so let's give another example. Clap for it. Bring out all the teams right now and get you guys a good look at them, and then we're going to get this show on the road. All right. So here's our first contestant. Here is Current Solutions. We got Savannah McReynolds, Joseph Nance, Laura Wilson, and Ian Kimbrough. You guys want to wave at the group here and showcase who you are? So here's how it's going to work. We're going to get our first contestants up here. Guys, our first group here, Current Solutions. Team members are Savannah McReynolds, right? Biomedical engineer major from Louisiana. Joseph Nance, computer engineer major from Madison, Alabama. Laura Wilson, a biomechanical engineer and theological studies. Ian Kimbrough, a mechanical engineer from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Here's the deal, guys. Just so you guys know, only 2 people can present at the same time. But after we ask the questions, judges, we're going to allow everyone to get up and answer that. All right? So let's get up for our first team.
Let's see if I can spark your interest. The amount of people who sought physical therapy for their shoulder alone in 2023 is equivalent to the population of Atlanta, Georgia. We all know the pain of joint issues and how that therapy can take what seems like forever, whether it's for ourselves or for others. But what if I told you that we had a solution, a current solution? With the addition of stimulation in your muscles throughout the recovery process, we can help facilitate a shorter recovery time. My name is Laura Wilson.
I'm Savannah McReynolds, and with our team members, Joseph and Ian, we have created Current Solutions. Partnering with Harding's Physical Therapy, Current Solutions will create physical therapy devices that will be sent home with patients to use in between physical therapy visits. Issues with joint injuries stem from the joint is frozen and stiffer to use, so the brain joint connection has been disassociated, as well as the muscles are weakening and dying over time. So in an effort to shorten recovery times, we will use functional electrical stimulation as well as assisted motion with joints to prevent frozen joints, increase neuroplasticity, and prevent muscle atrophy. Our first such device is the Shoulder Spark. We will use functional electrical stimulation as well as assisted motion to keep injuries from happening in the shoulder. Now there are a few competitors on the market for us, and these are exoskeleton devices that assist with motion in joints, as well as wearable electrical stimulation devices and typical shoulder braces. Now there is nothing on the market that combines all 3 things like we are going to do with the Shoulder Spark.
Another thing that we wanted to take into account with the Shoulder Spark is a condition called scapulourata, also known as scapular wigging. And this happens when there is nerve damage to the muscle that keeps your shoulder blade flat to your back. With this damage, it can cause your scapula or your shoulder blade to wing out, and it causes a lot of pain, and it can take up to 2 years to rehabilitate. So with this condition, it's also been on the rise because due to mastectomy surgeries, because of how invasive they are, the nerves can be cut as a side effect of the process. The neurostimulation, and as well as that retaining the neuroplasticity, will also help strengthen the shoulder and improve the range of motion. As we mentioned, this is going to be set up by the physical therapist, making it highly customizable to every patient in its use between physical therapy appointments. We wanted to take into account risks to both ourselves and our customers, as well as the end user. So we will be following FDA de novo standards, which has to do with risk management. We will also be retaining legal counsel for ourselves to ensure that we are fully in compliance with the law, as well as applying for patents to protect our intellectual technology. When it comes to insurance, we want to ensure that we meet CMS standards for the end user, which is the physical therapy patient. The cost of this will be about $4,000 per unit, which the physical therapy clinics can get back within 1 year of renting out the device for the entire year at about $75 a week. So we will be selling this to the clinics, of which there are about 125,000 in the United States. And last year, there were 4.5 million patients who sought out physical therapy for their shoulders, nearly 10% of PT patients in that year. And 4.5 is no small number. That's 1.5 times the population of Arkansas and 180 times the population of Searcy. So we will be outsourcing our social media and our web presence for both for our device. The web presence is the more technical side to ensure that we are communicating with the professionals and giving them the information that they need, while social media will help us to communicate with the end user, being the patient, so that they understand what our device does and that it is an option to help in their recovery process. We will also be retaining a salesperson to do location visits and attend trade shows to communicate with professionals so that they understand the device that they're getting from us and to ensure that we have valuable feedback from people currently providing patient care. We would start locally in Arkansas. There's about 2,000 clinics in the state. And then in year 2, we want to expand into Tennessee and Texas, and they have about 11,000 clinics between the two. In year 3, we would want to expand to the rest of the states that share a border with Arkansas: Oklahoma, Mississippi, Missouri, and Louisiana.
So, in the first year, we want to sell 300 devices, and at $4,000 a device, we will have a gross profit of $960,000. Then, taking into account our costs, in year 1, our net profit should be about $760,000. With a 25% annual increase in our business, in year 2, we'll make a net profit of $950,000, and in year 3, we'll make a net profit of over $1 million. So, we here at Current Solutions want to create our shoulder spark device, but we'll need about $80,000 to do that. We, as the owners, are putting in $30,000, and because we are so invested in our product, we are willing to put in to go get a bank loan for $50,000 at an 8% interest rate. But if we find the right investors, we are willing to give up 10% equity of our business for the same investment. I'm Savannah McReynolds, and this is Laura Wilson, and we hope we sparked your interest.
Good job on your presentation.
Thank you.
So first question is, how did you come up with the idea? And the second question I have is, how does your product differ from your competition?
That's an excellent question. We actually came up with the idea for our senior design project for engineering, and we wanted to work with physical therapy, and through contacting the physical therapy program here and talking with Dr. Anita, we were able to come up with a device that not only helped with shoulders, but also looked specifically at scapular winging. The second part was, how is it different from market competitors? So there is a decent market for electric stimulation of shoulder muscle specifically, but there isn't anything that combines the mechanical assistance with the electric therapy.
And why did you decide to go through clinics instead of like maybe selling to them direct, to the customer direct?
So because of the electrical stimulation, a physical therapist has to be licensed to actually set those settings. So we wanted to sell it to the physical therapy clinic so then that they could, and they also have the market for the patients themselves who they know that they can set up with this device. So they can set it up with their knowledge and then send it out. So that's why we targeted them.
Okay. Yes, very nice, great. My mother actually hurt her shoulder, so I know exactly what y'all are talking about. So I guess one question I have, which you just brought up, you said you're just going after the PT arena. How about, why not like chiropractors or other people that have to deal with even joints or muscular manipulation? Is that an option, or is that something y'all even thought?
We wouldn't be pursuing interacting with chiropractors because chiropractors primarily do bone manipulation and physical therapy focuses more on the muscles. We would also be interested in working with hospitals that have physical therapy associated with it, but our primary demographic is the clinics because people tend to search them out more.
And then I guess one of my big questions, I have a feeling Paul is going to ask this too. So you said after your net costs, what are your net costs?
We have our financials.
Okay.
So since we're engineers, we've partnered with some people in the business department and they helped us break down where all the money will go. So we're outsourcing a lot of our manufacturing, but we are also, and we set it up for a 3-month period as we were advised to.
Okay. And then, have y'all looked at, I know when you said you were going to actually have like social media and such to show people how to do that. I mean, are you also going to look at like YouTube channels or show people how this is done, or is that something that the physical therapist would have to do?
We would definitely be interested in pursuing contacting patients more through YouTube. For now, we've primarily considered the short form content on like Instagram and on X, but YouTube is definitely something that we would consider looking into.
Perfect. Great job on your presentation. You stole one of my questions. 2 questions for you. One, you mentioned in the first year you'd be primarily focused on clinics in Arkansas, but then in year 2, you'd be looking at 2 states, Texas and Tennessee, which is a significant amount of growth. Have you thought about your plans about how you would scale that up so quickly, just being in your 2nd year?
That is a really good question. I'm trying to think of the best way to approach that response. We were looking to expand the market outside of Arkansas just to start having some amount of carryover into other states. The market is very expanded, and we've definitely been aware of that. So it would probably be more of a slow trickle than a quick movement into another state because we want to make sure that we are taking care of our home base here in Arkansas as well.
And then my second question to you, when you sell a medical device, that usually requires a lot of trust, even if you are selling to clinics and professionals. How would you plan to earn that trust versus maybe some of your competitors?
So we do want to have a strong, as owners, we want to have a strong presence in how we've created the device. So building that trust with the PT clinics, using like showing our face, showing how we came up with the design and things like that. So that would be one way we could build the trust. Also, going through the rigorous process of getting FDA approval should show that we are putting a lot of time and effort into our device and getting that trust as well.
I just have one follow-up question. How much does it, well, actually 2, it's 2-part. How much does it cost to make, and is it scalable? Does the cost go down the more you make? And like, where are you gonna make it? I guess it's 3 questions.
So we would be outsourcing the manufacturing of it. It should cost for the raw materials and the manufacturing process about $800 a unit, scaled down for the first 100 to 300 devices. And there was a third part of your question.
Where are you making? Are you gonna like
We would be outsourcing.
Okay, I do have one other question. Since you're going to be dealing with PTs, how are you getting insurance companies to actually approve your process or your product for use on patients?
Yes, we want to make sure that we are following CMS guidelines, and we are absolutely confident in the backing process that we have come up with for ensuring that our devices market safe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so here's what we're going to do. I need 8 volunteers. 8 volunteers. 2 of them have to be adults. All right? You raise your hand. You're in. You're in. Come on. All right, you're good. We got 1. Come up. Come up, come up. I need 8. All right, that's 4. Come on. All right. Come on. Yeah, whatever. All right, yeah, you stand up. Come on. Do we have any adults? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 2 more. I need 2 more. Come on now. 7. All right, 7. Guy in the back. Guy in the back. So I love competition. 2, 4, 6, 8. I love competition, so that's what we're going to do in between. We're going to do a rock, paper, scissors championship, all right? And you guys got a root, all right? Whatever your group is. You guys are going to go here, you're in the middle, you're here, you don't have to play rock, paper, scissors. All right, cool. That's out of 3, all right? Loser goes and sits down. So y'all know that. And by the way, we got money we're giving away as well. So y'all can roll home. Yeah, I'll win soon. All right, let's give it up for them. Come on, guys. Come on, let's go. That's out of 3. All right, who won? All right, what's your name? Aubrey. Let's give it up for Aubrey. Good, that's good. All right, guys. We're going to have our next person come up here. This is Squeak Stopper. All right, Squeak Stopper. The owner is Mr. Zeb. So with that being said, let's give it up for Zeb from Squeak Stopper.
Hi Sharks, my name is Zeb Fox, and this is my assistant, Carly. So this all started when I was lying in my bed one night and I just couldn't fall asleep. Every time I would toss or turn, my bed would squeak so loudly, it would wake me up or wake my roommate up. So I had an epiphany. I was thinking to myself, I'm an engineering student, I've got a 3D printer in my room, maybe I can make a solution to this product. So I looked at my bed, I looked at some material choices, and I made a design. I implemented it on my bed, a couple other beds. Then I realized that people liked it so much that they would pay for it. So I started selling it. In fact, I've got over 24 sales here at Harding University, and that led me to the Heights, where I was able to make an e-commerce website. So now anyone can buy it, not just Harding students. The first step in doing this was finding out if people actually have squeaky beds. So I made a survey, and in fact, over 90% of the people that filled out the survey said that their bed squeaks often or always. And this is more than just an annoyance. It also causes people to have a lack of sleep, not just themselves, but also their roommates. And a lack of sleep can contribute to poor mental health, poor physical health, and poor academic performance. Poor academic performance could cause you to have a low GPA. A low GPA means less scholarships. So you could be losing money by having less sleep. So here's our solution, the Squeak Stopper. Kelly's going to hand out the Squeak Stopper to each of you. There are 2 different types. The Squeak Stopper SE, that fits most of the guys' beds on campus, and the WE fits most of the girls' beds on campus. The letter just indicates whether or not the bed end is steel or made of wood. And this is actually our campus is actually a really great representation of the U.S. campus housing market. So I'm sure you're wondering, is it actually that bad? How could a squeak wake someone up? So I've got a little video here. So there you can see just how silent it is after the Squeak starter is installed. So although we don't have any direct competitors, as in this is kind of a first of its kind product, I have seen some people use things such as lubricants like WD-40 to reduce their bed squeak. However, in some cases this is completely ineffective, as in their bed still squeaks, and in some cases it's only temporarily effective. So it only lasts for say, a week or so. And past that, say you want to use a different sleep aid, say melatonin. That costs about $10 for a couple months supply. Our product costs $10 for a lifetime fix. Our target market started here at Harding University, as I said, with our trial run. However, we're going to take our experience from Harding and seek out 6 schools with a targeted ad campaign. I've done some basic math, and that equates to about 15,000 sales if we can hit 40% of that market. Past that, we'll seek out the rest of the U.S. campus housing market, and that provides a huge critical risk. What happens if we just run out of beds? Well, that's where contracts come into play. A good place to look would be the military. They've got over 1 million service members, and a lot of their beds squeak. Past that, we're looking at getting a patent on this, and with a patent, we could collect royalties from bed manufacturers. Our marketing strategy starts first with quick, comedic social media videos. We already have an Instagram account. We're going to branch out to X and other social media soon, and all of the social medias lead directly to our funnel page. And our funnel page is where all the magic happens. The first thing you'll see here is a countdown timer showing our Shark Tank sale, and past that you'll see some basic information, which one they should buy, and some basic instructions. So you've looked at all this, you want to buy it, all you have to do is scroll right back up, click buy now, fill out some information, and it'll be shipped to your dorm box, or your office box. So I'm sure you're looking at this like, I'm a college student, I want my bed fixed now, why can't I have it fixed now? Well, you actually can. If you pull out your phone right now, scan the QR code, you can buy Squeak Stopper. And while they're doing that, Carly's going to showcase my little models here with the Squeak Stopper. The first one is the Squeak Stopper WE. It just slots into the bed mix like that. That's most of the girls' dorms. Now the other one is the Squeak Stopper SE. That's most of the guys' dorms. Instead of 2 Squeak Stoppers, it's just one, and it slots into all 4 rooms at once. So if everyone's done scanning the QR code, I'll move on to my financials. Before we cover anything on the income statement, it's crucial that we have some key assumptions. So our first key assumption was our units sold for the first year. I already discussed how we're going to achieve that. I applied similar techniques to get to my second and third year. However, in reality, our third year we would hope to be seeking contracts, but that's really hard to quantify, so I just used the similar techniques. If you take our 15,000 sales, multiply that by the unit cost, which is $10 for a Squeak Stopper, that adds up to about $150,000 of revenue. If you subtract out our cost of goods sold and expenses, that leaves us with a net income of about $70,000, which yields a net profit margin of about 50%. So Sharks, you've seen that my startup costs are going to be about $70,000. Of that, I'm going to invest $20,000 of my own money, and I'm asking you Sharks for the remaining $50,000. In return, I'm offering a 25% annualized return rate, which will be returned at about $100,000 at the end of year 3.
Very excellent presentation. That was really fun. Glad you already got some sales. So, I guess my first question, so where are you producing these, or are you having somebody produce them? Obviously you printed them the first few, so how are you going to actually be producing these?
So the first few I've produced all in my dorm. I've got a 3D printer in my room, and the great thing about that is I don't actually have to be in the room for them to be printed, so it's a bit of a passive deal. But in the future, I would like to, in my financials, I included buying more printers, because it's really easy to scale 3D printers.
Oh, okay, so how much would it cost you actually to make each product? What is your actual cost per unit?
So that's a great question. So an easy way of calculating that is just taking the consumables and the materials and adding that to electricity. So that's about 19 cents. However, once you add in labor, it adds up to about $3. But that's just the labor, like, to actually do it. But people don't just work the time they have to fix it. So I actually, in my income statement, added $25 per hour, $40 per week.
And then each, I assume that a girls' dorm versus the male dorm is actually a different price, or are they the same? Are they just a flat price?
No, ma'am, they're the same price because it's a very similar amount of material and they use the same packaging.
Awesome. Great presentation. Loved it. A couple of questions for you. One would be on material cost. As you sell more of these, are you looking to potentially change the material to even something stronger than what you have today?
Of course, that's a great question. So the material is actually really suitable for this. It's called thermoplastic polyurethane. It's more durable than silicone and a lot of rubbers. However, I have been looking into adding lubrication agents such as PTFE, that's Teflon for any of you that know that.
Yeah.
So it would be more of a modifying the material than changing.
Got you. My next question is, obviously these work for the beds at Harding, and I see you've done your research on those, but as you expand into different universities or the military, like you were mentioning, how do you plan to make products to adjust for maybe a different style bed?
Well, that's a great question, and an easy way to tackle that is I actually emailed our bed supplier here, and our bed supplier has already sold over 100,000 of their beds, so they have similar beds to us. And past that, if you do a simple Google search, every single bed that will come up, like on dorm bed manufacturers, looks exactly like one of our two beds.
And then, would you consider selling it wholesale to bed manufacturers to put them on the bed as they're being manufactured?
I would, yes, but even further than that, I'm going to seek a patent, and rather instead of me making it, it would be collecting a royalty from them.
Yes, want to compliment you again. Great presentation. So my questions are along the lines of it is a very simple product, right? And it just seems like it would be so easy to copy. And you said you're gonna go the patent route on that.
Exactly, yes, sir. We're working on getting a utility patent pretty soon.
Okay. Are there other markets besides beds? I mean, because let's give you an example. We recently owned an RV and everything squeaked on that RV. Everything, right, Dave? So I don't know if there's other markets, but have you looked at other markets?
So other markets, I've seen the same material from a 3D printer be used on shock mounts, so like as a mount for the shock. And I was considering seeing if they're applicable to chassis mounts on trucks. If you've ever driven a heavy-duty truck, you'll notice that it like squeaks whenever you put a load on it. But I'm not secure on any other avenues.
How did you come up with your product? Is there another? Well, that's the first question. And do you have any competing products out there on the market right now?
No, sir. There's nothing like this that I've found.
Oh. How did you come up with the idea?
So I am an engineering student, so that helps a little with design. However, my suite mate, who's actually in the crowd right now, was stuffing earplugs into his bed ends, which is a decent solution, but it's not that easy to like shove in. So I designed a squeak stopper based on that principle of dampening.
So, did you say that this product lasted for a long period of time? Was there ever the risk of it stopping to work after a few months?
So I actually only I made the first one a little over a month ago, and it's held up fine. And I've actually done a little research to find out how much they deform or creep over time. And what I found is that the majority of the creep happens within the first 24 hours, and we've made it over a month, so it should be a long-term solution.
I have a bunch of questions, but I'm trying to think. So, I guess my question is, obviously, I know you're kind of targeting students at this point, but what about just going directly to the colleges and saying, hey, I've got a solution, have you thought about just a whole package of that?
So I have thought about that, but especially colleges like here where everything has a specific amount of money allocated to it, it can be hard for, like, say, maintenance to get these in. So that's not going to be our first look. And also, faculty doesn't actually experience the squeaky beds, students experience the squeaky beds.
So another finance question for you. One thing that e-commerce sellers always struggle with is the cost of shipping. Because customers never want to pay for shipping, but yet it can be considered a high cost and a cost of doing business. So what is your shipping and distribution look like today?
So I went to the United States Postal Service actually yesterday and asked them about this. And my cheapest method is going to be somewhere a little under $1, somewhere between 58 cents and $1. However, in the future that could change depending on who's sending the packages to them. And that's calculated in my income statement.
So, sorry, is this something that's included so it's included in the cost of the product, or do you charge this additionally?
It's included in the cost.
I just have more of a comment. When I originally read your presentation, and there were no pictures, and I was like, what is this product? I don't know if y'all felt that way, but I was like, what is this? But I have to say, I'm actually very impressed. So, thank you so much.
So I like trivia, and if you haven't watched Shark Tank, you've been around Harding, I've just got some questions for you, and we're going to give away some gift cards for those of that get the right answer. Is that fair? Yes. All right. Is that fair? Yes. All right. What president served the longest at Harding University? Huh? No? No? Who served the longest?
Dr. Gaines.
I don't think so. There's only 4 more. So Vincent served the longest, actually. That's correct. Here you go. Here you go. All right. This is an easy one. Come on now. Where was Harding before Searcy?
Waldron.
There you go. All right. All right. How many years has Shark Tank been on TV now? How many years? You can just raise your hand and guess. No. 20. No. 18. No. 15 years. That is right. Yeah. All right. What year? Well, no, we're going to skip this one. What product made the most money? Hear me out. Most money on Shark Tank ever. Scrub Daddy. You are getting it. Bonus question. Who was the shark that invested in Scrub Daddy?
Lord.
No. Who? Mo? No. Rebecca? No. None. Yeah, there's no card. That was just a bonus question. I'm sorry. Actually, nobody invested in Scrub Daddy. All right, we have a couple more. Actually, this one's going to be interesting. Actually, no, we're going to skip this. Y'all get something? All right, cool. What was the highest amount ever invested in Shark Tank? The highest amount ever invested? No?
1.2 million.
No? Down a little. No. 2.25. Somebody said 5. Oh, I heard over here. I'm sorry. All right. What is the first name of the first lady at Harding?
Lisa. Right now.
She raised her hand.
I did.
Lisa. Miss Lisa. All right. Who is the best president to ever reign at Harding University?
Mike Williams. Armstrong.
Mike Williams? All right, just because he writes my check. Here you go. I'm joking. All right. One more. Can anybody name another product that hit over $1 billion in sales, but it sold to Amazon, yet the shark said no to it? Nobody invested in it. Ring. All right. Ring. All right. You guys know your stuff. I'm impressed. All right, guys. Our next contestant is all the way from North Carolina. He runs a company called PillMe. Let's give it up for Luke Huddleston. Forgive me. Let's not give it up for Luke Huddleston. Let's instead change our mind here. We're going to go with FairTix with Aiden Davenport. Let's give it up for Aiden.
Picture this. It's your daughter's birthday and you know exactly what to get. Taylor Swift tickets. So you go to the biggest ticket-selling website, Ticketmaster, and find yourself in an 8-hour queue for awfully priced tickets. Then the website crashes, forcing you to pay even worse prices for illegally scalped tickets. This is the current situation of the ticket-selling industry, with Ticketmaster having an 80% monopoly over the $68 billion industry. They, as well as their few competitors, face an onslaught of constant lawsuits from fans, from artists, even from the US government trying to sue them for a monopoly. Now you may be thinking, why does everybody hate these companies? And the reason is they are a failed pricing model. They either price the tickets too high, resulting in empty seats and unhappy fans who can't afford it, or they price it too low, resulting in lost revenue, long queues, and again, unhappy customers. Or they price it just right, but even then scalpers come in with automated bots buying thousands of tickets and reselling them for awful prices. In fact, this is a $15 billion annual issue. And then once the customers get through all that, they see a 27% hidden fee just added on after checkout. This is where my company comes in, FairTix, and we seek to alleviate every single one of these problems through 3 different ways. The first, a transparent dynamic pricing model, ID verifications for purchase, and adherence to honesty and transparency. The first is the dynamic pricing model, and many companies use this, as you may see. And essentially, they have the same product, but the price fluctuates based off of consumer demand. We're going to do something a little bit different, a transparent dynamic pricing model. So our prices are going to start at an impossible high, and they're gradually going to decrease at a set, transparent amount until they sell out, allowing the customer to either buy immediately at a premium or wait for a lower price. The price will never go up, it'll only go down. Let me show you a little bit more within our app. So here we're looking at FairTix app, we're looking at YouTube tickets at the Sphere. And right now the price is at $5,000, which is an impossible high. But we're gradually going to decrease this at a set, transparent amount until they sell out. So a couple hours in, we see the price has gone down, as the customer can see. We have a couple sales at 12%, and maybe a couple more hours or even a day in, we can see the price has continued to drop, and we're at 89% sold, almost at equilibrium. And at any point, the customer can purchase these tickets for that price. And then finally, at $658, we sell out. Now, the benefits of the system is the trade-off between price and certainty is in the hands of the consumer. They choose their price and they choose their time. Additionally, we flatten the curve of demand. Instead of thousands of customers trying to buy these same tickets at the same time, we slow it out over hours, days, or even weeks. Additionally, we ensure that almost every single seat is sold every time. Now, a couple other features we're going to have is different price scales for different seats, because not every seat is treated equally. So for the same concert, we're going to have different scales for different types of seats. Additionally, we're going to have limit orders. So you can say, hey, if it hits $800, I want to buy it immediately, even if I'm sleeping. We're also going to have customizable notifications. And this right here is a patentable technology, because we are the only company in the world to use a system like this. We're also going to have ID verifications. When you buy a ticket, we're going to need to have an ID associated with your account. And that ID is going to need to be the same ID that you use to enter the concert, greatly reducing the number of scalpers on top of the 5 tickets per person. Now, this is the current price of a ticket, as Ticketmaster does, with the shown price and then all these hidden fees added on. But for us, our shown price is the ticket price. The fees, the taxes, and the profit are rolled in. And this difference between the prices is customer savings, aka a competitive advantage. Now we're going to have a 10% service fee on average rolled to the price of the ticket, so what you see is what you pay, compared to 27% for our competitors. You're probably thinking, how can we have such a low fee? The answer, the transparent dynamic pricing system gives us a more accurate market price of what it should be. Additionally, we're going to retain a large share of the $15 billion lost from scalpers once we get to that size, and we don't sell. We're not going to have the lawsuits, public hatred, and the artist bans. Our target audience is not the 148 million annual concert goers, but instead the artists themselves, because they choose who sells their tickets. And right now with Ticketmaster, they have expensive concerts, lost revenue, and angry fans. In fact, recently, 250 artists signed a petition to Congress requesting their intervention in this broken industry. Now, our roadmap to success starts with small local events in Arkansas and Memphis, and then we're going to partner with medium-sized artists, then large artists, and finally take a large share of the market growth. Now, in order to fund this, we're asking for $750,000 from a variety of angel investors. Could be one, could be a dozen. And this is for website development, as well as advertising and marketing, hiring agents to talk to the artists that they already have relationships with. And we plan to break even in about 3 years using the roadmap I showed you earlier. Now, our second funding method is a lot more fun. We want to partner with a large artist in exchange for a share of the company. So they are directly and financially invested in us, helping us succeed. We have more funds to start up. We also have immediate industry recognition because we can piggyback off of their clout in the industry. And we're also going to have large ticket revenue because these 3 artists, as you can see, have they've spoken out against Ticketmaster publicly, and this was the revenue at their last tour. And if we partner with them, that's our immediate revenue. You see, we are not just a ticket company. We are a rising disruptor in a broken industry. With billions in potential revenue and millions of customers begging for change, FairTix is bound to succeed. Thank you.
All right, good presentation.
Thank you. Sorry, I sound like an auctioneer.
No, you're good. I have a couple of questions, a few questions for you regarding your pricing model.
For sure.
The first is, how would you initially set the first initial price?
We would kind of just do that based off of what we think nobody would pay. We want to start it really high, where nobody would really want to buy that, but as soon as it starts going down, they begin to see, like, okay, this is the price I'm willing to pay to have 100% certainty that I'm going to get this ticket.
Got you. And then, will it be like a set amount that it will drop? Will it be the same amount for every artist, or will it just be an algorithm that monitors traffic?
Yeah, we'll definitely monitor the traffic, like you said, but also if we think it's going to be a big artist, we could spread this out over weeks, or if it's a smaller artist, just a couple hours or a couple days. And it's going to go down just a very visual amount, no big gaps or anything.
Okay. And then based on that, will customers get some type of alert saying when their tickets hit like a certain price? Will they be able to monitor that, or would you expect them to continually come back?
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to have, they can monitor it and come back, but also we'll have the customizable notification so they can say, hey, give me a notification when it's 90% sold, or when the price hits this, or the price goes down by this %, similar to how you would with like stock or something.
So what happens if maybe you have an artist that maybe is not as popular, and so the tickets maybe are not selling as fast, but you've already agreed to pay them a set amount? How would you potentially recoup that?
That's a great question. We want to have the, obviously bigger artists in the long run. But at the beginning, like you said, when we drop the prices for these smaller artists based off of what we expect, we could have the price go down and then slowly go down more and more. And then it's, if you don't buy it at this price, then you won't be able to get it.
Aiden, good job in the presentation. This is Aiden's 3rd year, right?
Yes, sir.
That's
7th
right.
one, but 3rd year.
Yeah. All right. So I've got some tough questions for you, so buckle up.
Let's go.
All right. All right. So what this auction type, what is it actually called?
A dynamic pricing model, I would say, which is where it varies, but we haven't seen this type where the price just continually drops. And I call it the transparent dynamic pricing model.
It's actually called a Dutch auction. There's a traditional auction which starts low and goes high, and a Dutch auction that starts high and goes low. So here's your first tough question. What is to stop your competitors from moving to a Dutch auction model?
That's a great question. Well, they had this opportunity to do that for past many decades, and they never did. They continue to profit off of all of us who go to sporting events and go to concerts. And so if they suddenly decide to switch, while us, a new company that's built a foundation of trust and don't have all these dozens of lawsuits. And to answer your point on the Dutch auction, they usually that's just for one large item, right? But since we have thousands of different items, those being each individual tickets, we also have this other side, the amount sold, that determines, since there's lots of different items.
But is the idea copyrightable or patentable, since it is a Dutch auction, which is a common form of auction?
Yes, sir. We believe so because we have this whole other side, instead of just one item for a Dutch auction, we have thousands of different items that thousands of people are competing for instead of just one thing. If that makes sense.
More tough questions for you. So the Wall Street Journal had an article on Ticketmaster and the like, and they identified it as the biggest problem right now that Congress is looking into is just the high fees. And so along this line, now this gets complicated. So recently, before Jimmy Buffett died, he was the first person in history to ever get paid more than the total ticket count. He was getting paid 105% of ticket sales. So have you seen any of that? Because I've heard that a lot of other big artists are actually getting higher amounts than the total ticket sales because they actually demand a cut of the concessions and all the other stuff that are involved. How would you address that particular issue?
Yeah, that's a great question. And for a lot of them, they're so big, such as Taylor Swift, that they can mess around with wanting concessions and wanting this and wanting 105% to guarantee that they can continue with their contract. Because Ticketmaster doesn't want to lose them. And in reference to the Wall Street Journal article talking about their high fees, that's definitely true. And we plan to have lower ones because we don't lose the money to scalpers. We also think we'll have a more accurate ticket price through the transparent pricing model, which is going to be generally cheaper than what they have. And then we can have comparatively higher fees by cost, but not by percent, if that makes sense, essentially.
All right, so last tough question. So right now, Ticketmaster makes a lot of money on the secondary market because they require you to resell the tickets back through them again. And they take another 20% cut. So how are you going to do a Dutch auction on the resales, or how are you going to do the resales?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for resale, for example, if you want to return a ticket, we're just going to do it off of the market price, that being whatever price is on the right, whether that's right now $658 or previously, if the price hasn't reached the bottom dollar, that you could resell it for that price, and we wouldn't take a cut because we don't. We want to honor that, and they're going to lose money if they resell it because the price has gone down. So they wouldn't want to profit off of it.
So, Aiden, good job again. It's nice to see you. Okay, so your 10%, you said, is your fee that you're going to bring in for your service fee. What about your credit card fees? Does that include your credit card fees? Because you're not actually going to be making 10%. You're going to be making like 5%. So, I mean, have you addressed that, or?
For the price that we're going to be negotiating with the artist for, that'll include a lot of the costs, and we'll have the service fee. Like all the fees will be the profit, our profit, also our fees, including credit card fees, or like, any type of fee that we incur, such as with our website. But then also like taxes and everything. So that's all going to be in there, and the service fee is going to be our profit on top of any other expenses that come with the ticket.
Okay, and then, similar to what he was saying, so you're going to partner with particular artists? Is that so like, say Taylor Swift wanted you to sell her ticket. So how would that look? What would that look like? Walk us through the whole steps.
For sure. Is this talking about like us partnering with them financially, like the investment, or this is just basic?
How would you? Is it just by name? Like some people lease out their name or their image, or are you actually getting Taylor to buy into the product?
We would want, if somebody was to, like a big artist was to invest in us, like Taylor Swift, Zach Bryan, and Dallas Cowboys have been speaking out against them, and many of them have tried to switch to competitors. Some of them actually come back to Ticketmaster because there's no other option. But we're going to definitely, if we partner with them, they'll get a percent of the company. They'll be like a 10% equity owner in the company. They'll be partners with us. And they'll be incentivized to encourage further use and encourage to use us. And even potentially, take out some initial revenue from the ticket prices because they want to grow this company. And if we were just selling their normal ticket without the partnership, it would just be similar to how Ticketmaster talks to them. Like, hey, we'll sell your tickets. Here'd be the price you would pay and everything like that. And then we would take care of everything else for them.
So back on your price transparency, have you thought through maybe the negative impacts of that? Meaning, like, if it looks like on your side I'm going to be paying $150 for a ticket, but on Ticketmaster it shows that I'm paying $100. And I know that I still have to pay the fees, but at the face value of it, I'm paying more money for yours. How would you handle that?
For sure. Well, we would often see that we would, on average, have lower prices since they consistently go way above and beyond what they need to be charging. I mean, they're a multi-billion-dollar company growing exponentially. So we're going to have lower prices, but they're going to see, I guess, potentially higher prices, but as soon as they click checkout after waiting for 8 hours in Ticketmaster, as soon as they click checkout, they'll see, oh, it's actually higher than FairTix, or it's the same price. If it's the same price, they're transparent, and I don't hate them from previous experiences.
And so when you're looking at partnering with someone like a Taylor Swift who has a massive fan base, how do you think through the infrastructure of your website to ensure that, you know, even though with your business model, you're still going to have a large influx of people, how do you manage through that and potentially the legal complications?
So are you asking about like having lots of traffic on our website?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. So Ticketmaster, they had, when they did the Eras tour, they had like less than 1 million people a day. All of a sudden, 14 million in one day from Taylor Swift, and that crashed their website. So since we slowed demand down over days or weeks or sometimes hours, we wouldn't have that. So we'd flatten the curve, kind of like we heard in COVID, flattening the curve, and we would do that again in order to better help our website. And a lot of Ticketmaster's fees, one of their major expenses actually is keeping up their website that takes millions of people at a time. And we wouldn't have to pay as much because we spread that out over time.
But even though you still have a kind of a slower flow of people coming through, there's still a good possibility that you're going to have still a large influx of people. How would you handle those situations?
Oh, for sure. We would, we'd probably use a cloud-based service like Amazon Web Services or something, and we would just pay to we'd predict the maximum amount we would ever get, and we'd pay to have that amount, which is going to be a lot lower than Ticketmaster would have to do.
Does it scare you at all to try to take on Ticketmaster? Isn't it like taking on Coca-Cola at the moment?
Not at all. We've seen Uber take on the taxi industry, Airbnb take on hotels, all of these pretty rough industries to be in, and we believe that we're just going to be another disruptor in a massive industry with massive potential growth.
But all those industries were fragmented, and Ticketmaster is not fragmented. They own 80% of the market.
Yes, sir, which is where the current lawsuit that the Justice Department is doing, they're going to break up that monopoly. And even then, people would still be looking to switch because they're actually considered the most hated company on the planet, according to LA Times, and that's our competitor. The most hated company.
I agree with you on that. My daughter hates them, and she's bought lots of
we all.
All right, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
We're going to take about a 10-15 minute break. We can be back here by 7:15. We got some refreshments in the lobby here. Restrooms for men's on the right, women's on the left. Back here, like, anybody in the hall? Just pull them in real quick. All right. There's a lot of good ideas in this room. So I am going to get, not just this intersection, but the next one. If anybody wants to pitch their idea, just 30 seconds, stand up. I want you to get it ready. We're going to give away some gift cards to whoever's the best. All right, so it gives everyone in the room an opportunity. If somebody wants to do it, not, then we'll go on to another activity, all right? We've got 3 more amazing contestants. Are you guys excited about what we've seen so far? All right, now, I already kind of, kicked it a little bit, but now I'm really excited to introduce the owners of PillMe all the way from North Carolina. Let's give it up for Luke Hutchinson.
4 months ago, my grandma was rushed to the hospital, all because she didn't want to take one of the many medications her doctor had prescribed to her. She didn't do it because, quite frankly, she didn't trust her doctor. And why should she? She'd only met him a handful of times, and he'd prescribed dozens of medications that she didn't think would work. Now, thankfully, this story is fictitious in my case, but it is a reality for millions and millions of Americans across our country. In fact, Medical non-adherence is one of the largest problems facing the medical community today. In fact, 1 out of 5 people above the age of 60 have reported that in the last 30 days, they have not taken some of their pills prescribed to them by their doctor. Now, my product, PillMe, solves this issue. Imagine how much more likely you would be to take your pills if a loved one was giving you that reminder to do so instead of a doctor you'd only met a handful of times. Well, thanks to PillMe, we don't have to imagine. Let's take a look at what this might look like.
Hey, Grandma, I miss you. Take your medicine. I see you soon. I love you.
Now, that's all sweet, but why should we only let grandkids have the fun? Imagine if you have a lifelong friend that you attend church with. What might a video from them might look like?
Hey, Carol, good to hear your voice.
Oh, we're so thankful that you're home from the hospital and feeling better.
Yeah. Hey, we need to run, but we just wanted to remind you.
But don't forget to take your medicines.
Right. And we hope to see you at church Sunday.
Yes. Bye-bye. We love you.
We love you, Carol. Bye-bye.
Now, grandkids and lifelong friends, that's all fun and games. But what if we could get a celebrity endorsement to have your grandparents take their medicines every single day? Well, with PillMe, that can be a reality. Using deepfake AI technology, we can have celebrities such as Elvis Presley or Marilyn Monroe, even Mr. T or Queen Elizabeth, telling your grandparents to take their medication every single morning. Now, what is PillMe? PillMe is a friendly medical pill dispensing system that gives you a gentle video reminder when it's time to take your medication. We're going to have it connected to a mobile app for a seamless and integrated pill-taking experience every single day. Our mobile app will have different features depending on who is using it, but some of the features that every user will have the ability to scan a QR code so they can connect directly to that device. Then you upload your video and send your love and support. If you're a home nurse or a caregiver, then you'll have the ability to track when the pills are removed from the device. Using a weight sensor in the pill tray, you'll be able to tell exactly when the pills are removed so you can keep up with your patient's pills. Now, the cost of PillMe is going to be $300 on our website, but it's only going to cost $150 to manufacture, which means for every device we sell, we're making 50% profit. We're also going to employ a drop shipping business model, which means we reduce overhead because we don't have to keep up with expensive storage fees or warehouses, and it's faster because we're shipping directly from the producer right to the consumer. Our target markets are going to be the elderly patients. They're going to be our end users, so ultimately we want to target them first and foremost. Then we're going to target the family members of these elderly patients. They're the ones with maybe a little bit more disposable income because they're not on fixed incomes quite yet. And we're also going to target these advertisements around the holidays, such as Christmas or Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, Father's Day, times when you're already thinking about taking care of your loved ones. And last but not least, we're going to target our advertising towards caregivers, specifically assisted care facilities and home nurses. This is because PillMe is able to provide extra care and services such as the pill tracking that allows them to advertise better services. Our marketing strategy, first we're going to do SEO or search engine optimization. This allows PillMe to be at the top of every single search that you make on the internet. So whenever you search something along the lines of pill tracker or pill sorter, PillMe will be the first thing to pop up. We're also going to do a pay-per-click advertising campaign on social media sites I know your grandparents love to use, such as Facebook. Pay-per-click is the best way to do it because we only have to pay out when somebody goes directly to our website. We're also going to do content marketing, such as creating blogs or generating studies that are all going to be celebrity endorsed. And these studies are going to prove things that PillMe is the best device to get your grandparents to take their pills, better than any other device out today. Now, in year one, we're looking at selling 2,500 PillMe devices. Year two, 4,750. In year three, 8,000 PillMe devices. Now, when you take into account cost of manufacturing, that means in year one, we're going to net $375,000. In year two, $712,500. In year three, $1.2 million. Now, our startup cost is going to be $500,000, which means we're hitting break even at 3,400 units, which means we'll hit break even comfortably in year two, which means we'll have the remainder of year two and year three for nothing but pure profit for future expansion. Now, I'm asking $50,000 for 15% of PillMe. Don't wait, get PillMe and get your friends and relatives the help they so desperately need. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great presentation. Tell me how your product differs from your competition.
Yeah, absolutely. So currently on the market, there's a variety of ways you can sort your pills or count them out, but there's nothing that involves any sort of integrated app or any sort of AI technology that brings all that together. And there's nothing actually with any sort of large display screen at all. The closest thing that they have out there is something with 35 days, so you can get a little over a month at a time sorted out, and it has a small LED display that has just the date and the time on it. That's the closest pill dispensing that they have, closest pill dispenser that comes anywhere close to what PillMe has to offer, and nothing has any AI capabilities at all.
One of the things I noticed when I was doing the research for this product are the ones that they have little slots you fill up and it just spits out the pills. But I haven't seen any of them that do like I know my wife's mom takes a certain number of pills in the morning and a certain number at night. Have you looked at solving that problem?
Yeah, so there's only 3 things that the device needs to begin working. So you'll pour the pills into the top, and it can have up to 7 or 8 different pills at any given time, different distinct pills. You'll pour them into their own little silos within the device. Then you only have to input the number of pills that need to be dispensed and the time of day those pills need to be dispensed. So it can happen at any time of the day, and you put that information all on the screen. So all 3 of those pieces of data and inputs need to happen, and then your pill dispenser is ready to begin working. So you can do multiple times a day to answer your question.
What do you think is going to be the hardest problem to solve as far as the product? Is it the manufacturing, or is it the design, or what do you?
So none of this technology is revolutionary. It's just bringing it all together is the new process here. So manufacturing, the R&D shouldn't be all that expensive or revolutionary to develop because all this technology already exists. The main hurdle is going to be advertising. Getting that out there. It's already a pretty heavily saturated market, all the way down from the little days of the week sorters that you have, all the way up to the electronic dispensers that are a little bit timed, but they're still basically pretty rudimentary. So overcoming that advertising hurdle and distinguishing myself in the market would be key.
Nice presentation. Thank you. I think you kind of answered one of my questions. You're actually not going to be the pharmacy. You're just there's just a machine, you ship it, and then somebody else sets it up.
Yes, ma'am. So that reduces liability for us quite drastically. Since we're not shipping the medication still comes from their doctor. What we're doing is just tying the reason of why they're taking the pills directly into the pill-taking experience. So you take pills to get healthier. That's the ultimate reason why you take them. So we're showing why you're getting healthier at the same time as you're taking those pills. That's why you want to see your family. That's why you want to see your loved ones. Because it ties in your brain that reality of I'm taking these pills so I can go be with these loved ones.
So basically, when you were describing this, I'm thinking of an old-fashioned coin counter because everything separates. So what is your liability if, say, someone pours in, I guess each slot will have its own identifier, or each screen, or how will the system know that, okay, these 3 pills are to be taken in the morning and these 2 pills to be taken at night? How will the system know to dispense that?
Right, so they'll be siloed out, so there'll be separate compartments for each pill type. So basically all the machine will have to do, and you'll input, that you put, pill 1 in silo A. So then on your screen, you'll type in 8 a.m., I need this type of pill from silo A. And it will dispense that proper number at that proper time. And they're all siloed out, so you don't have to worry about dumping them all in one big container and then the machine has to sort them out somehow. They're already pre-sorted. So.
And then say they're thinking that they're pouring one into slot A, but it's actually the wrong pill. It was supposed to go in D.
Right.
What is have you thought about the legalities of that? Is that going to be part of your insurance?
There is some risk of a lawsuit coming from that. That is a lot of user error and not so much a default of the device itself. But yes, there would be some rudimentary insurance that we would have to have for different incidents like that. Yeah, great question. Thank you.
All right, great presentation. So you mentioned that your target market is, a lot of elderly type patients.
Yeah.
And then I know that you also started off your presentation, you had a lot of smartphone type interaction. Have you thought through maybe that a lot of your target market may not have smartphones, and how do you plan to still have them interact with your product?
Yeah, so the app, and I try to show that as best as possible in my presentation, but the app is going to be very simple to use. It's going to have just very basic features, QR codes, and just basic buttons. Now, the dispenser is going to be used by the elderly patients. The app is mainly going to be used by their family members and relatives. So if you wanted to, the end user, whoever has the dispenser, could use the app, but the app is mainly geared towards the people sending the videos to that dispenser. So there is a little bit of worry that the end user won't be able to use the app, but it's trying to be as streamlined and as simple as possible so it's user-friendly for all ages.
And then kind of on a related note, your marketing was a lot of like social media, search engine optimization. Some of your customers may not be getting online, period. So have you thought about maybe going into like different doctor's offices or somewhere like that to monitor or to market your product where these customers are going regularly?
Right, so that's a part of the content creation aspect of it. So there would be blogs, there would be pieces put out in magazines or journals that would be sitting on that doctor's table in their waiting room, or a type of situation like that, where they would be able to gain that information that wouldn't be online. So part of the content that would be generated and created, some of those celebrity endorsements would come out in magazines or print type style, so it could be generated and passed out to everybody. So.
And then I know that a lot of medications are very time sensitive and that you can only take them in a certain period of time every day consistently. Is there a way for potentially caregivers to get notifications if maybe a patient didn't take their prescribed medication at a specific time?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned in my presentation that there's going to be a weight sensor in the dispensing tray. So when those pills are removed, that's when the caregiver gets that notification that the pills have been taken out. So that's how they're able to track that those pills are being taken and they are being used. You talked about time sensitivity. I had thought about the idea of doing some sort of refrigeration module because some medicines do need to stay refrigerated. So keeping some sort of cooling, that would actually add to the cost a little bit. So this would be, what I talked about would be the baseline model. So if you wanted to add on some of these extra features such as refrigeration or anything else like that, that would be a little bit extra, and I would pursue an avenue like that sometime later down the road.
So my next set of questions are just on the product in and of itself. So on the screen, so will there be like a celebrity that reminds you to take your medicine on the screen?
Yes, so that's the end goal. So the video is created and made on the device, on your cell phone, by the loved one or family member, and then it's sent to the device. The device is going to be connected to your home Wi-Fi, so that video can be sent from anywhere in the world. And it will display, so like say you want your medication at 9 o'clock in the morning, an alarm will go off, that video will pop up, and that video will play on repeat until you go over there and either remove the pills or click the screen to get it to stop. So it requires a user to actually be there in order for that video to actually stop.
Gotcha. And then finally, is this product heavy? Will it go up on the wall?
So it's less than 7 pounds, and that also helps with shipping. So shipping wasn't actually included in the overall price. That will actually be tacked on later. But in order to keep it as cheap as possible, it's going to be a pretty lightweight device, under 7 pounds. And so we can ship it for less than $20, and it's really easy. It'll only take a handful of screws, maybe just you have to find one stud in order to put it up on a wall, or it can stand alone on a countertop or any other space you need it to as well.
Okay, you also mentioned you were going to drop ship the product. I guess, first of all, where are you manufacturing this?
So it's pretty open because it's a drop shipping method. I haven't selected any sort of manufacturing location yet or any sort of manufacturer. So I'm pretty open to wherever that may be. Because it is drop shipping and it's going directly from manufacturer to end consumer, it doesn't really matter all that much. Hopefully somewhere close to where I am, so that if there's any sort of difficulty, then I can go check in on the manufacturer. Now, I talked about the minimal warehouse needs. There would have to be a little bit, just in case there is a little bit of gap time in between the manufacturer and the actual end user. I would have to probably keep anywhere from 500 to 1,000 devices on the side, but that can be kept in a small warehouse or storage facility in a climate control type situation, and then I can send that out on my own in case there's any sort of gaps in the supply line. So.
How much have you looked into a locking mechanism, like a secure locking mechanism? Because I know pain pills and powerful medications, they need to be secured.
Right. Right. So it is something I've definitely looked into, and it would be something pretty rudimentary. It would just be in the way of a shield that lifts up, and then you could just type in a like a numeric code or a password on your screen, and you would unlock and you could take it. So what that would look like is you get your alarm, the video plays, the video won't shut off until you type in your password, then you're able to open it up and take your medication. Once that is opened up, then the caregiver would get their notification that the pills had been removed.
But the caretaker would have like a secure locking key once they load it, they lock it, kind of deal?
Yes. So if it has to be, if you can't trust the patient with all that medication at one given time, then yes, the caregiver would have the ability to lock it up or lock the lid on top so that they can only be the ones to get access to all the storage in the bag. Or, type in the code to make sure that they can come and get their pills then. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great presentation.
Volunteers. 3 or 4. Come on now. I will start picking. 1, 2. You guys all win already. 3. Okay, two of you can come up as well. All right, we're gonna do something that hasn't been done in hardly. I don't know. Don't laugh now. You're gonna get me in trouble. All right, guys. Y'all know how to do the Macarena? Y'all better learn, because we're going to have a competition to see who does it best, okay? It is our anniversary, all right? TheraLink is who we're going to be hearing from now. We got Nick, Cooper, Zabiel, as well as Emily. So let's give it up for them.
Hello, I'd like to tell you all a story about my grandfather. He was a Vietnam veteran, a cross-country skier, and a marathon runner. Nothing can stop that man. That is, except old age. Knee surgery and the ensuing recovery limited what he could do and took him away from the things that he loves. Unfortunately, 50 million other Americans in PT go through this experience each year, 70% of which will never finish their full recovery process, often due to a lack of motivation or accountability, which leads to never fully regaining their range of motion or strength. And that's where we come in with TheraLink. First, I'd like to introduce you to our team. We have Sabiel Ramirez, myself, Nick Herman, Cooper Fitch, and Emily Palm. At TheraLink, we're bringing the power of data analytics to the rapidly growing physical therapy industry by providing clinics with a data-driven ecosystem of diagnostic physical therapy tools that help these clinics provide accurate, personalized, and efficient rehab experiences to patients through a patient tracking process through our proprietary mobile app, which boosts motivation and accountability. At TheraLink, we've identified 4 problems in the PT industry that are currently holding us back from a full recovery. The first of which is the stark underuse of analytics in PT, which currently relies on subjective patient surveys that puts all the responsibility on the patient. On top of this, the few at-home analytical resources that we do have are often very expensive or completely immobile. At TheraLink, we've specifically addressed each of these problems by providing PTs with a comprehensive set of diagnostic devices that provide time-stamped recovery data that can be used both in the clinic and in the home. These devices can be revenue generators for clinics, raising their bottom line and thus lowering costs for their patients. Finally, our devices are compact and lightweight, meaning they can be used by almost anyone, anytime, and anywhere.
Now, let's talk about the market. The US physical therapy market is composed by over 76,000 physical therapy rehabilitation centers and 18,000 nursing clinic facilities, serving over 50 million Americans each year. Our initial focus will be in the Southeast region, which has the highest amount of physical therapy centers per capita, representing roughly 26% of this $46 billion market, which is expected to grow 3.2% annually. We're adopting a multi-tiered marketing strategy to capture our target market. First, we'll display our device in key trade shows and physical therapy conferences supported by our dedicated sales team engaging customers directly. Our 90-day money-back guarantee policy will reduce this risk, allowing the customers to test the device while generating revenue. Finally, we'll boost our online presence through social media campaigns and sponsorships. Now, let me introduce our product. Let me introduce Flex. Flex is a diagnostic device which allows physical therapists to evaluate range of motion and strength on the knee, which is responsible for over 2 million surgeries in America each year, making it the most commonly injured joint in the body. Flex will then send this data to the unique TheraLink patient profile via Bluetooth. This data can be accessible by both the PT and the patient. With Flex, we're helping patients get back on their feet, but don't just take it from us. Take it from the real physical therapist experts. That, as you can see, they have and they see the potential that Flex has to fulfill unmet needs in this industry. We've conducted a thorough analysis of our competitors, as seen in the table. It is clear that no other option currently available in the market offers the comprehensive set of features that Flex provides at the competitive price we've established for ourselves, making Flex the currently best choice available on the market. Our revenue model will consist mainly on direct sales to physical therapy rehabilitation centers. Each Flex device will be priced at $1,600 per device, and we'll charge a monthly subscription fee of $80 per clinic for access to our data tracking software. The clinic can then distribute the device to their patients, generating revenue for themselves and raising their bottom line.
Using this revenue model, we've gone ahead and projected our growth estimations over the first 3 years of operations. And as you can see here, we've projected that we'll reach $1.7 million in net revenue after year 3. We can accomplish this by reaching our attainable and conservative goal of 0.4% of our target Southeastern market, or 100 affiliated clinics. And by year 3, capturing 2% of that market, or 500 affiliated clinics, through our robust marketing strategy. But Flex is just the beginning. We plan to expand to other areas of PT that are in desperate need of innovation, such as neck injuries, spine injuries, or elbow injuries. Finally, we also want to expand into the Mid-Atlantic region next in order to capture further opportunities for expansion. Here's a summary of our startup costs. I like to call special attention to the bottom of this graph. We've allocated over $22,000 to app and web development to ensure that our users have the most secure, reliable, and intuitive app possible. We've also allocated $20,000 in legal fees as we are currently in discussions to consult with a patent lawyer on the patentability of our products. And that leads us to our ask. We're putting in $80,000 of our own money into this company because that's how much we believe in the good and innovation it can bring to the PT industry. We're asking for $80,000 in venture capital with a 25% return over the next 3 years to cover the remainder of our startup costs. We're engineers, so of course we love numbers, and we think analytics are the future. So what do you say? Are you ready to bring that future to over 50 million Americans, just like you and just like my grandfather? Then look no further than us at TheraLink, and together we can bring that future to over 50 million Americans in physical therapy. Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, so on the knee brace itself, you're going to have some type of sensors all throughout. Is that correct?
Yes, I think that's a great question, and that's best answered by Emily.
So I'm the chief engineer with TheraLink, and so yes, you can see that in the housing, this white part is all the housing. Embedded in that is several different sensors, as well as a steel frame to keep it rigid and basically unbreakable.
So you said $80 per client or per clinic. Is that correct for them for monthly? Yes. But won't they have? It's $80 per clinic, but they're going to have hundreds of individuals listed. Is that how I'm listening? Is
Yes.
that what you said?
So,
Okay.
Sadia, would you like that?
So is that going to be a feasible amount, just $80 a month? Because it seems like you're going to need quite a bit of space just to house all the different reports and the people, and just for one claim.
Yes, our $80 per clinic price is very competitive based on our competitors. There's other competitors that have up to $125. They're like subscription fee, and they follow this similar revenue model. So $80 is a competitive price, which allows us to have a good developed app for them and a good developed website, which we can see on the following slide. The app is being developed, and this price per subscription will allow us to have this app correctly developed for them and to maintain the database and all the patient profiles. That is correct.
Great presentation. I know that with anything dealing with the body, people are built all different shapes and sizes. How does the sizing of this work? Will you have multiple products for different sizes?
Yes, that's a great question. So if I go back to our model here, those are Velcro straps that wrap around the knee, and according to the design specifications that we've set, those will account for about 80% of the American population, and then further than that, we can adjust them with larger straps to accommodate for further people. The frame around it should be wide enough to account for basically anybody within about a 90% window.
Got you. Where are you planning to manufacture these?
That's a great question. Emily, would you like to answer that one?
So we'll be manufacturing in-house to start. Our production will be low enough in the first year that we feel comfortable and confident doing that. As production increases, we'll probably take on more staff to help us with that.
And then you mentioned that you definitely have a competitive advantage versus others in the market. Do you know if anything like this has been done before, and why? If it hasn't, why?
So currently on the market, there are several, and I'll go to that slide just to provide a little bit of clarity for that. There are options currently on the market, but right now they don't fulfill every need that we are addressing. For instance, this Biodex dynamometer, what it does is a large chair that they have to be strapped into, so it requires a lot of room, and that's currently the best option on the market for giving both measurements that we're providing with our device. On the other side of that spectrum, the K-push requires a second person pushing against the limb, so it can't just be used by an individual. It's also limited only to strength measurements, so again, it's not addressing all of the facets that we are addressing. So addressing all of these has not been done yet successfully.
Gotcha. And so you mentioned that you would be marketing these to different clinics, correct?
Right.
And very similar to what I asked the first group that went up there, with a large amount of patient trust, how would you gain their trust in order to recommend this to their patients?
So that's part of the 90-day money-back guarantee. We're going to begin before our full launch by giving these devices to 5 clinics to allow them to just test run, provide feedback, and use them as they wish. And then for each clinic, they'll have a 90-day money-back guarantee where they can actively be generating revenue by renting them out, charging insurance, however they choose to do it, that's their prerogative. But they will have that full window of 3 months, which also is about the estimate of how long it would take for them to recoup their investment anyway. So they have a full risk-free 3 months where they can test this product, see if it's to their liking, see if it gives them the data that we're claiming, and we're confident enough with this product that we're comfortable offering that guarantee.
And I didn't know if I didn't catch this. Did you say, what is the cost of manufacture per product?
It's a great question, and again, our chief engineer is the best suited to answer that. Emily?
So currently at this low production rate, it's about $400 per device. But as production increases and we're able to order materials in larger quantities, we see that going down to around $150 per item for this particular device, the Flex.
And the current product is going to test strength and also range of motion is the 2 main things, right? What is the column 2? Is that an upgraded package? Is that what that is?
The HIPAA compliant patient survey packages.
Oh, that's a competitor?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Those are qualitative surveys that are done completely by the patient, and they are bought in packages such as that for clinics to use with their patients.
Have you thought about, instead of selling the price for a certain dollar amount, just roll it into the monthly? Like say, it's $300 a month?
So we've chosen to set it as a single dollar amount that they can purchase because we want to allow this to be a revenue generator for these clinics, because current options are they send them home with resistance bands and just say, we hope you do this exercise and check back with us in a little bit. And we want this to be able to go to these clinics and they pay their fee, they have their subscription for the data, but this is a device that's in their inventory that they can build revenue with and raise their bottom line as well, because we want to help not just the patients, but the clinics as well.
From your presentation, I'm taking that you could build the same product for a shoulder, right? Or an ankle,
Yes.
right?
That would be a plan of expansion after this initial launch.
What do you see as the biggest hurdle for this product going forward?
I would say that the biggest hurdle for this product going forward would be just ensuring the marketability, because that is something that as engineers, that is not our area of expertise. And we have a team of business advisors who we've consulted and walked alongside us in this process of getting to this point, and we're confident in their ability of what they can share and our ability to apply that knowledge. I would say that side of things would be our biggest hurdle because we're confident in our technological expertise.
So from what y'all have said thus far, would the clinic actually have some for testing and then some to give to patients for a time? Or who is actually going to be the end user?
That's a great question. Cooper, I'll hand this off to you.
So the clinics will be purchasing these and they can use them either in-house or at home. The idea is they can perform some tests and maybe have one in office that they'll use. However, most of these will be sent home, generating that revenue through charging the insurance, and also allowing them to track the progress at home so they don't have to come into the office as much, making it easier for longer extended stays.
So like any one clinic would buy maybe 10 of these at a time?
That's the hope, is they'll buy more, and as they buy more, the monthly subscription gets cheaper per unit.
Thank you all very much. Great presentation.
Thank you.
All right. Is anybody brave enough to stand up and give a pitch idea of some type of business that needs to be built? Not another laboratory. No, you're too smart for anyone. Anybody got anything? I'm going to give the option. Yeah, any type of business idea. You got something? Wait. Does anybody else got something as well? Anybody else? All right, we're going to get your idea. This is a really, if you lose this competition, you got this. Let's hear it.
Just right now?
Right now, just go for it.
All right, so my idea is an app called Fresh Future. I came up with a name for it. It's supposed to help target food waste reduction. So the app would include recipe information for easy access to like food recipes that kind of use food in totality. And sometimes you will buy a whole bunch of food that you don't really need or overconsume, and then sometimes just food ends up rotting in your refrigerator. You don't really know what to do with it. So the app would give you recipe recommendations with what you have available. It'll also give you preservation tips, so kind of how to keep your green onions fresh or your lettuce heads fresh, as well as composting information, so you can compost a little bit, and let's see what else. Regrowing tutorials.
I love it. Well, here you go. This is awesome. Give it up. It's so hard to get in front of people and give this type of stuff, and so I'm always amazed. I was really quiet at Harding, believe it or not. So you guys are way ahead of me. All right, for this next group, let's give it up for ProLearn. These guys are all the way from El Salvador. Let's give it up for Mario and Gerardo.
What is the biggest obstacle holding professional back from advancing in their careers? Lack of motivation? No. is the access to high-quality professional education.
And we're not talking about small obstacles here. Imagine being an accountant in El Salvador. You're required to complete long hours of continuing professional education, better known as CPE. You may know about this. But the processes of the organizations in El Salvador that offer this kind of knowledge are outdated, inefficient, and frustrating.
Hey, my name is Mario Mejia.
And my name is Gerardo Murcia, and we are ProLearn,
the company that is here to simplify how professional education in El Salvador is delivered.
ProLearn isn't just a service or a product. ProLearn intends to be the bridge that connects these organizations to their members. We take the burden of online course creation and management off their shoulders, so these organizations can actually focus on what really matters, delivering high-quality content to their members. We touched about this already, but let's focus on the real problem now. In El Salvador, over 13,000 accountants are required to complete 40 hours of CPE every year to keep their certifications. These courses are essential for them, but organizations that offer these kind of courses don't have the expertise or the resources to manage their own online courses.
After the COVID-19 pandemic, companies found out that it was more feasible to offer online CPE, so they started using platforms like Google Classroom. The problem was that these platforms are not meant to be to offer professional education. They also found out that they lack of the necessary expertise to adopt learning management systems like the Moodle platform.
That's where ProLearn steps in, because we offer a fully managed solution in which we handle all the technical side of creating courses online in Moodle, while these organizations don't worry about anything else.
Our primary partner right now is the Salvadorian Institute of Public Accountants. They have over 2,000 members and are one of the 8 associations that is allowed to offer CPE in El Salvador. ProLearn, with this partnership, is able to make $2,500 in monthly revenue. But at this point, you might be wondering, how does that program works?
Well, just to clarify, ProLearn is an ongoing business already in El Salvador. So let's break it down in 4 simple steps. First, creation of professional CPE content. This means that the organization, like our partner right now, the Salvadoran Institute of Public Accountants, provide us with their course materials. This is the content they want their members to learn.
Second, ProLearn steps in by creating a new course in the Moodle platform. We make sure that every student has access to it, and we make sure also that we upload all the content materials to the platform.
Third, we make sure that the course goes live. When the course is live, these organizations doesn't need to worry about anything else because we handle hosting, maintenance, and troubleshooting.
Finally, these organizations are in charge of selling that course to their members. ProLearn charges a simple fee of $10 per student.
So if you may notice already, we're growing, we're small, but we want to keep growing even more. That's why we did some of our market research, and what did we find out?
We found out that the learning management system market is expected to grow. This means that it will generate a demand in experts. And guess what? ProLearn is ready to capitalize on that growth.
Based on this, we came up with a 3-year expansion plan that looks like this. In year 1, we're going to partner with 2 more of these associations, reaching 3 in total. We're going to grow to 500 students and hopefully generating a total revenue of $5,000 per month. In year 2, we're going to partner with an English Academy, growing to 750 students, generating a total revenue of $7,500 per month. In year 3, we're going to partner with professors associations, growing to the education sector. And we're going to reach a total of 1,000 students and hopefully generating a total of $10,000 per month.
ProLearn will be able to make this possible because it's great networking. But what about marketing strategy?
So every growing business has a marketing strategy. We're still bringing brand building or business. So we use social media. Facebook, Google Ads, Instagram, you know about this. We're also going to attend conferences in which we can showcase firsthand how our services actually work.
We're going to also co-market with the partners. We're going to allow them to use our platform to offer free webinars so they can attract more clients. We're going to also showcase their brand names in our platform so we can attract more clients to them as well. But, Gerardo, why would a company choose ProLearn?
Well, if I was one of these organizations, I would choose ProLearn because we actually solve the real problems. Because these organizations that are using generic platforms like Google Classroom, those platforms were built for high schoolers or even elementary kids. We offer a tailored learning management system, that's Moodle, which was built for professionals and also easier because we take the complexity out of managing LMS systems from these partners. And we're efficient. We help our partners to save time and resources.
ProLearn is also scalable and affordable. This means we can grow alongside the needs of our partner while maintaining our simple fee of $10. But this means we can also be flexible on that price. On the top of that, ProLearn keeps record of every CPE you have taken. In addition, ProLearn offers a 24/7 expert support, ensuring that every student has the necessary tools to succeed.
Well, we've said a lot already, so I think it's time we ask for something, right?
Yeah. So ProLearn is seeking a $10,000 investment over a 3-year period at an 8% interest rate. This will allow us to upgrade our infrastructure, enhance marketing efforts, and to be able to expand to 2 more accounting associations, 1 English academy, and 1 professional association.
Now, at this point, this may sound as a small business to you. It's even a small investment, and it is, let's be honest. But I want to clarify something. This isn't an investment in just our business. It's an investment in us, in the people, and in the professionals across El Salvador who want to grow their careers in a simpler way. With your support, ProLearn can actually become this bridge that we dream of, empowering thousands of professionals across El Salvador to advance their careers more efficiently.
We have changed the numbers for market potential and our brand's ability to scale. But most importantly, we have shown you that ProLearn is ready to make an impact on the professional life in El Salvador.
This is why we think that this is your moment. It's a moment to invest in a business that's positioned to dominate, it's ready to grow, and it's built to scale. In 3 years from now, when ProLearn is impacting all of these professional lives, you'll be proud to say, I helped many this time. This is why we welcome you on board to ProLearn. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Great presentation. To be sure that I understand your business appropriately, are you the person that's actually setting up the course, or are you working with the associations to get all the course materials?
So these organizations are the ones that actually study, for example, a new lab that's coming up. So they create that content, and they just send the specification of how much time the course is going to last, how many people are they expecting, the different assignment they want to put. So we take all that structure and we just put it on Moodle. So we basically designing the course to make the platform.
Do you have your fee cost, and what are the costs you would be covering with the $10 fee?
Are you using for the
your cost? Yeah, your cost. Yeah.
All right. So our expenses grow to $1,500 per month, and that covers 3 wages because we have 1 employee hired inside us. It also covers expenses like hosting, the domain,
and also the taxes. So all of that adds up to a total of $1,500 every month on expenses.
So do you have competitors who are also doing this?
There are some competitors that we will call them entrepreneurs that are kind of understanding how Moodle works and they are trying to operate this, but they lack of the partnership and the expertise as well and experience we have.
One big thing that we have is that we have had the opportunity to meet a lot of people across El Salvador, a lot of them professionals, even family of us, friends that they are sometimes enrolled in these kind of organizations. So we can say we have an eye inside, and we know the needs, and we know better how to supply them. This is how.
But basically, there is not a company that is offering these services, just us.
Okay, I'm going to read from your prospectus, and I'm confused on this. It says, partners rent this Moodle space from ProLearn. I don't, explain that to me. How does that work?
So, they don't, let me just give a minute just to get my word right.
No.
Can you repeat this?
Yes, it says that you rent Your partners rent this Moodle space from ProLearn.
So, if I may step in here, this means that we actually are the ones who pay the renting of Moodle because there is a cost of renting Moodle, and we have the space that they don't have, which means the fee that we charge to them is the fee that allows them to use our platform.
Oh, I see. Okay, because it's just worded a little bit different than. All right.
Yeah.
So you're saying partners can view the content.
Exactly.
I see.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, we don't own the content. We just help them have a better platform so they can interact better with their students.
I see. And as far as the content, are these video presentations or video training classes on the CPE courses?
So there is two ways. There is an asynchronous way and an asynchronical way. The asynchronical would be that these professionals record themselves explaining this type of material, and they just send out those videos and we just put it on the platform. But also, what is most common in El Salvador is that these professionals actually meet on Moodle offers a tool to meet online. So they get together in that big blue button tool, so they can have an actual face-to-face class with the professional, and they can ask questions, have feedback.
So it really depends on how the organization wants their content to be delivered. It's up to them.
So what's the reason you picked Moodle? Is it explain why you picked them? What's the advantage?
Moodle offers a lot of professional tools that no other platform has. And also, our founder, which is Mari's uncle, he was the one who participated in the first team in El Salvador, who was trained to set up Moodle for our college in El Salvador. This gives us an advantage because he knows exactly how Moodle works, and he has been the one who trained us, and we've been the ones who train the other employee we have. So.
Yeah. Also, Moodle has a bigger penetration in Latin America, so it's the most commonly used platform for professional content.
One last quick question, and that is, what's your secret sauce? I mean, what do you think you're best at, and how are you going to win this market? So, what would you say your secret sauce is?
And so, I think I've mentioned a little bit about this, but what makes us really different is that we focus on solving their problems, because these organizations may use right now Google Classroom, but this isn't a platform that's tailored for professionals. Also, as I mentioned, we have a great networking. We can connect with a lot of people that can reach to these professionals faster than anyone else.
Great presentation.